be honest, the defense in NBA 2K26 is a little wonky. He greened it anyway! Yo, the contest is so bad! But that still didn't stop me from making the best hybrid lockdown on the game. So if you guys want to actually try to play defense, watch the rest of this video as I show you the prime Draymond Green build. And make sure you watch to the end of this video, because I'm definitely gonna give you some tips so you don't end up on somebody's poster. Don't say I ain't never put you on. As always, I'm gonna give you 2 ways to make this build, and you just figure out which one works best for you. As you may have noticed right now, 6'8" are completely running the game, so you do not want to be small when playing lockdown, especially for threes. So if you're planning on making any type of hybrid swing, the lowest I'd go is 6'7". On mine, I went 6'7", 235 pounds with a 7'1" wingspan. As I told y'all in the Cooper Flag video, whenever you're a swing, your primary focus is to get rebounds, play defense on the back end, and to be able to throw the ball up the court to your guard on the break. And with this build, I put myself in prime position to have a bunch of cap breakers to be able to upgrade my build over time offensively. Even without those offensive upgrades, I'm still very capable of scoring regardless of if I run pick and roll or if my guard is going to ISO. I got a 73 driving dunk, which gets me posterizer on bronze, but also some really good dunk packages to be able to score out the corner. That 45 standing dunk does give me the quick 2-hand dunks, but it is not as consistent as it was last year. So if you're not in the paint by yourself, a lot of times that's going to get contested. But with how overpowered ISO is right now, there's really no need for you to be running pick and roll unless you're running with a small guard. So a lot of times you're going to be spotting up in the corner, up top, anywhere to give your guard some space. And this is where this build shines offensively. I have an 83 mid-range, which does give me silver shooting badges off rip. But I made bad financial decisions, so you didn't have to, so I can see what's going on with the cap breakers. And I'm telling you, 83 is the sweet spot, because that then allows me to use just one cap breaker to get it up to 85 for silver deadeye. Playing for the last couple days, it's clear to me that badges make a huge difference in how your build moves, especially defensively. So you want to be able to have as many good badges to be able to upgrade them with max plus 2 and 1s, because when you're going against builds that have gold plus badges, it's very difficult to guard them defensively when you don't have the opposite badge to match. Trust me, playing in the creator early access, I played against some of the best players in the world, and it makes it clear that when you have bronze badges on the defensive end, you're pretty much cooked. You need to go higher tier in order to be effective. And that's why I went with an 85 perimeter minimum if you're gonna play back in NBA 2K26. Honestly, with the way people are shooting over you, you really need to go higher on this. This is somewhere where I'm definitely gonna use my cap breakers to give me a little bit more of an advantage. But just know, if you're going to go with this silver challenger, you're gonna have to jump at everything, and even then that may not be enough. Now, on the original version that I made, I started off with a 91 steel so I could have both glove and interceptor at gold, so I can use max plus 1 and 2s to update it. With the way the game is playing right now, I personally would not go over an 85. Steals seem extremely hard to come by, and the only way that you really get them on ball is if you run into somebody. Therefore, I would focus on getting interceptor on gold, then using specializations, cap breakers, or max plus 1 and 2 to get that to Hall of Fame or legend. But what's a must though is having interior defense and a block. Slashing, as you can see, is extremely overpowered in this game right now. And you don't want to be caught without having paint controller, because I promise you, you're getting put on a poster if you have just bronze. So 84 block, 70 interior. If you can get the interior even higher, whether with cap breakers or off rip by changing your passing or something, do that. You need interior defense or else you're going to get boomed on. Based on how the game is right now, if you're gonna make this build, I'd use specializations on defense so that I can eventually have the extra cap breakers and the max plus 1 to permanent badges in this category. And since right now it doesn't seem like the specialization badges are tiered lock, what I'm going to do is use 3 cap breakers to get my interceptor up to Hall of Fame, then use the specializations max plus 1 badge on Interceptor to get that to Legend, and use the Max Plus 2 badge to get that on Paint Patroller Hall of Fame. That will then let me free up the rest of my cap breakers to be able to use them on speed, and 2 more on my mid-range shot to get my shifty shooter on silver. On the optimized 6-7 version for right now, if you want to go that route, just know that you might have to adjust how you use your cap breakers in the future, since you'd only have an 85 steel overall. So with patches, this may be a worse option to go with. It just depends on what Mike Wang decides to do with the gameplay. Either way, that is going to adversely affect how you use your badges for rebounding. As you can see, we only have a 92 rebound, which means we get Rebound Chaser on gold. Originally, when I made this build, I was going to use the rebounding specialization to then be able to use the permanent Max Plus 1 and 2 badge to get that to Legend because it's a park big. But because defense is such a pain point right now, I'm going to use the seasonal Max Plus 2 badge to get that to Legend and Hall of Fame as we get them, since it is pretty quick in the season pass. And then when I get the rebound, I'm throwing that on the break to my guard, so I still need that 76 pass accuracy for all silver playmaking badges, including break starter. You'll see on my Max Plus 2 badge, I have that boosted so that I can get that to Hall of Fame. Lastly, for the physicals, on the optimized version, you start off with an 89 speed, which is max with an 82 agility. With the way guards are moving, I'm not gonna lie, you're really gonna need that speed on the back end, especially to jump the passing lanes. But what's most crucial is going to be that 85 strength for Immovable Enforcer on gold. I'm telling you right now, when you're playing these overpowered 6-8s, you're gonna wanna have the Immovable Enforcer badge to push them off their spot. If not, they literally can run through you and dunk the ball every time. But when you put that all together, you get an edge enforcing midi scorer. A great all-around back-end build to be able to play defense effectively while also being lights out from the 3, aka that prime Draymond Green build without the ball handle. It started me off with the defensive presence tape, but on this build, I primarily used the Glass Gunner takeover. I know a couple people are having issues shooting on the game, and if you need a jump shot for this build, I pinned it at the top, but with the Glass Gunner takeover, I get my defensive rebound boosted up to a 98, while also boosting my mid-range and 3-point shot to make shooting way easier for you on the game. But if you feel like 6-7s are way too small to be the primary big in the park, especially with 7-4s running around, I totally get it. This is an optimized version for a 6'9 build in case you want to go a little bit taller. You start off with making him 6'9, 242 pounds with a 7'3 wingspan. A lot of the stats are pretty much the same except for a couple of areas. First off, the main reason you go 6'9 is to be much bigger to secure the board. Here, we with a 94 defensive rebound off rip to get box out beast on Hall of Fame and rebound chaser on gold. From here, you'd have options to use your cap breakers to go to legend off rip, or use specializations in multiple areas in order to become truly overpowered as a back-end swing. You can use your specialization on defense to do the same thing that I told you in the last build, or decide that you want to completely change the way your game plays by using cap breakers to get your ball handling all the way up to a 79 with a 70 speed with ball, or unlock contact dunks with an 88 driving dunk and 80 vertical. It really comes down to how you want to be able to play on the back end. You will lose some speed, so you definitely don't want to be on the ball for too long, but what you lose in speed, you gain in strength, you gain in rebounding, so that you can secure the board up the court and be a defensive presence against those taller builds. But when you put that all together, you once again get an edge enforcing midi score, just this time a little bigger, a little stronger. Y'all let me know in the comments which version of this build is your favorite, but I got to rank 10 in Texas by using this build primarily. So it definitely is something that can get you a lot of rep quickly if you know how to be just that defensive nuisance. But if you decide all defense is just not your cup of tea, I have the perfect scoring all around build for you with no weaknesses to get you started on your NBA 2K26 journey. So if you're trying to see what that's all about, tap the video on the screen. And on that note, I'ma see y'all in that one. Good night.